Phil's late. We're here. I'm starting to wonder if he took a nap and is not waking up yet, because usually I at least hear from him saying, hey, I'm running behind. So whatever. I'm sure he'll be here shortly. Here we are. It's Monday night. Snakes and Stogies episode 240. This is brought to you by BlackBoxCages.com. I am late. We are late, but it's because we were waiting on Phil. And I called it and said, oh, there he is. He's been summoned. Look at that. Look at that.
Hello, gentlemen.
He's alive.
Okay.
It is monsooning here. I was trying to make sure that I wasn't going to get electrocuted.
Oh, okay.
Yes. But I'm only 53 seconds late, so.
Is 9:05.
What?
9:06?
The live says we just said 1 minute.
Yeah, because we were waiting on you.
Oh, God. All right.
Gosh.
All right.
BlackBoxCages.com. Check them out. Shop around. Racks, cages. They've got some new stuff in the works beyond. I just found out about this yesterday. I can't really disclose anything, but there's new stuff coming.
Nice.
That I think people will like and people will appreciate and people will use and buy. Use the code THN25 at checkout, get a little discount. Then you can double down on the savings, choose the pickup option at checkout. If you're near North Georgia, you can just jet on over there, pick it up, see all the cool stuff, and make a cool trip. Get some cool cages, cool racks, cool runnings.
Thanks, Mr. Pink.
BlackBoxCages.com. And then Fulvius Apparel. FulviusApparel.com. I got this new hat here.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's like aquatic camo.
It's duck camo and navy.
Nice.
Whatever that means with the bright yellow.
Means you're a seal.
Yeah. Our the option for free delivery to Daytona is now up. So if you want to place an order, you want me to bring it to Daytona for you to pick up and enjoy and live in forever, that is now an option to check out. Use the code THN at checkout for Fulvius and get 15% off your order. That is the exclusive promo code for THN listeners and viewers like you. Doesn't go anywhere else but here. And people use it. I see it. I see it all. And that tells me people are listening, which I like. So
it's good. It's very good.
Keep them coming. Cold-blooded caffeine. Best coffee around. Snakes and Stogies blend. You got to get you some. It is nutritious. It is delicious. It will nourish your heart and soul. And Tyson says, I got a compliment on my Dart Frog shirt recently. As you should have. Yes. Use the code SMOKE, cold-blooded caffeine. It's 10% off your order. Our blend, many other blends on the website. Check them out. You won't be disappointed. We're partial because the Snakes and Stogies blend is something that Phil and I worked with Trey to concoct, and it is the blending of Mexican coffee and Rwandan coffee together in one bag.
It's pretty damn good.
It's pretty damn good.
Just saying.
Taking some from our side, some from the other side of the globe, putting them together in a bag for you to enjoy. Check it out.
It's all in the grinds, man.
Yeah. I really want to, if I could figure out a way to bring some to Daytona to be able to make in the morning so I don't have to shell out like $8 for a cup of coffee at Starbucks.
Well, I mean, they give you the coffee machine in the room. You can buy your own little pods to like take with you. Not you could buy an empty pod and put your, what's it called?
Do they use Keurigs now?
I thought they did.
Rooms? I don't remember.
No, you know what? It's not Keurigs. You're right. It's like a little.
I thought it was just a regular pot.
No. It's like it's like an Uncrustable. It's an Uncrustable of a coffee filter with the coffee grind inside. You know what I'm talking It's like it's a
you eat
pod
that?
made. No, it's a pod made of a coffee filter.
Like the little charcoal filters you put in a fish.
Yes, it looks just like that.
Really?
It's like, but it's in the shape of an Uncrustable.
I've never paid attention because I never use the coffee makers in hotel rooms.
Only the fat kids know what I mean.
Yeah, I don't know. Danny's looking right now, so we'll see. But
yeah, I mean, or worst case scenario, you just bring a mocha pot or something with you.
What the hell's a mocha pot?
Like a Cuban pot.
How do I heat it up?
White gas stove, little Bunsen burner stove.
What?
Come on, man! Was this your first fucking rodeo?
I'm not trying to set up a freaking Breaking Bad lab in my hotel room.
No, man, no. Just you gotta have the freshness, man. Gotta have the freshness.
We need to have it. Maybe something that uses like the iron ore that they have in like the hot hands. That once it hits oxygen, it heats up.
Or just bring a portable white gas stove like you're camping.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
It's not.
It's a lot to tow around with me, man.
You're not taking it to the convention. You just leave it in the hotel room.
Yeah, but what if I want something down at the gazebo? What if it's like midnight and I want some coffee?
Then you bring it down with you. It's portable.
But then it's a fire hazard because there's a bunch of drunks.
That is true.
Around.
That is 1,000%.
Someone's going to get burnt or something's going to get burnt down.
Yeah, you're right about that one. Yep.
I don't. There's a lot of logistical hurdles here.
Only the ones we make ourselves.
We'll figure it out.
What are you smoking tonight?
LFD Cameroon Cabinets Lancero.
Very nice. Where'd you pull that out?
The shop.
That's great, man. I
know it has absolutely nothing to do with Jade, but since Africa is kind of the theme.
I got you.
Like I got something from Jade's home. However many thousands of miles north from.
It's the right continent, right?
Close enough. I have that, and then Raj managed to come across a box of these crown heads. I don't even remember which one this is, but they're at least 5 years old, and I smoked one earlier on my way home from work, and they're freaking good.
Was it Roman numeral 13? Or is that 9? I couldn't see.
XV111. 18?
18.
Yeah, I don't. The label just says CHC Reserve.
Very cool.
I don't know, but it's freaking delicious. So, because I'm sure I'll go through this fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Cameroon wrappers are a tough wrapper to work with. A lot of Cameroon wrappers come from the same producer in Cameroon. Apparently, that the Cameroon wrappers are like considerably more delicate than a lot of the others in terms of cracking and things like that because it is thinner. And there's only really a handful of companies that get like a decent high quality grade Cameroon leaf. But I will say this LFD is one of them. So,
dude, everything LFD touches is gold.
When they can keep it in stock.
Yeah, for sure.
LFD has a terrible track record of being back ordered on all their most popular stuff pretty much all the time.
Did you ever wonder if they do it on purpose? Like
I don't think
demand?
So. They lost I want to say they had like a massive walkout during COVID from their rollers and stuff, so they got kind of left high and dry. Yeah, so it's mostly like they're not that big of a company. Like they're not like Drew Estate that has massive facilities and the manpower to handle the production for all the different lines they have. But also like Andalusian Bull, which was Cigar of the Year, 10 years ago or whatever.
Has it been that long? Jesus.
It feels like it. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But that became #1 cigar, and they were back ordered for probably at least a year after that because they just couldn't keep up with the demand. Like they literally were so good, and they did such a good job with it that they couldn't keep them on the shelves. And it's a smaller company, so they struggled. But they're always plagued by some sort of production issue or harvest thing or whatever. LFD is just always having a hard time in some regard. So
yeah.
But they have I don't know if it's a new one or if it's just new for the shop, but they have one that's LFD Oro, and it is an absolute banger as well.
Really?
ORO.
You know what else I think is an absolute banger is the Modelo Oro. It's like low calorie light beer Modelo in like a skinny White Claw can. Absolutely good. Very, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a good size, good blend. So
excellent.
What do you have?
I have a Gurkha 21-year cellar reserve.
Old enough to drink.
This is a lighter one. I'm 99% sure it's Connecticut wrapper. But I was going to ask you, aged 21 years. Now, is that supposed to be the rolled stick, or is that just the leaves in the barn? How do you have that for like the Black Label Cellar Reserve 15 years? Okay, I could see you putting aside a storage unit of leaves and aging them for 50, 21 years, man. What are they doing? How is that? Is it fluff?
Probably. There's a lot of gimmicks in cigars, man.
There is.
If you end up working in the industry for any period of time, you realize there's a lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
No shortage of it.
But I grabbed this one because I have several of these on hand, and I grabbed this exact one because it looked great, it smelled great, it felt great, but the foot was getting blown out. And I was like, I better smoke this now before it completely frays apart, you know?
The like there are some companies where they do age their stuff like legitimately, 5+ years. In some companies will do it in like bourbon barrels, like Perdomo does with their Habano line stuff. Sometimes they just get aged in pilones for however long until they're fermented where they need to be, and it's so some of it there is some legitimacy to some of it, but like 21 years, honestly, I couldn't say, but I have a hard time believing they're sitting on for the price that those go for.
Yeah.
I have a very hard time believing that they're, unless they're just talking about that line in particular is 21 and they're deciding to label it as that, which is false advertising. And I don't think they can do that. I don't know, but.
Well, the draw is fantastic and the aroma is awesome, but it is burning kind of fast. So I imagine this one got a little loose on the end, but we'll see.
Maybe.
Still yummy.
Tyson said, I always wondered the same thing about rum, scotch, etc. Is it really aged for over a decade? Some stuff it is, but I feel like the stuff that is the stuff that's also the most expensive because they have to recoup the work and time of sitting on that stuff for
absolutely.
Like that's the reason those bottles are so limited and it's so expensive is because they literally just took up space for a decade.
Yeah. And then the new trend now over the past, say 30, 40 years is to, on your really select barrel stuff, you start a new batch in a pre-emptied cask. So, you'll have a company that does for example, I always go to Pappy Van Winkle does a 15, an 18, and a 21.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the 15's good. The 21's good, but the 18 is where the money's at because they use a 15-year dump to start the 18.
Yeah.
So that barrel already had 15 years of juice cooking inside it. Then they empty it and start fresh on an 18. And that shit's like liquid silk. Amazing. Yeah. So.
Yeah, well.
Oh, Chris Sanchez is inside.
Oh, God. Are there any updates on your end?
On my end, let me see. No, not at all. Trying to think of what has transpired since last week, and a whole lot of nothing. The only thing I had hope in terms of paired stuff was Ring Calls, and I got messed. I don't think she took. So, but I did receive a portable air conditioner that's like the size of a lunchbox.
Really?
And I'm very excited to wire that sucker up in winter and just pump in cold air into their enclosures.
I got one that's
awesome.
like the size of like a wine fridge that my buddy gave me for in here because it gets hot, but it draws so much power that I'm afraid if I turn it on while I have all this stuff plugged in on top of everything else that it's gonna trip the breaker.
So this thing only runs for as much water as in the thing, in the reservoir, and then once it's I don't want to say burned off that water, but for lack of a better word, vaporize that water, whatever you want to say, it turns itself off. So I found on Amazon, I haven't bought it yet because I'm being frugal, but I found a dehumidifier the same size. So I'm wondering if I just run one and the other next to each other, right? So one's pumping out the
keep
cold,
it going,
and then I could take the collected reservoir of water from the dehumidifier and pour it back into the air conditioner. Bro, the desert room is pumping, baby.
You can get it simulated to that dew point exactly where you need it to be.
Legit, man. Legit. Absolutely. And I was actually, I was messing around. I was moving cages and stuff around this weekend. And I gotta talk to Jen and figure out how the best way to go about this would be. But I really want to get misters on a timer for like, I don't know, 10 seconds at 5:20 a.m. just to get like once the dew point hits.
Why don't you just get a Mist King?
Yeah, but I want to wire it up into like three 2x2s.
Oh,
and I don't know, like, because there's all wires and stuff for the LED lights and shit. I don't know.
I think you would just drill holes and put the nozzles in there
just
and
like
have it run off. Have it run off one Mist King system, like one brain.
Oh, that just makes sense. Okay, well, that's the next step.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no news is good news on my end. Yeah. Yourself?
Nothing. I think that Jansen eye egg is done.
Oh,
Looking progressively worse and worse. So, gonna give that a little bit longer before I just call it. Other than that, yeah, nothing new. So,
okay. But we do have a wonderful guest tonight.
We do. So I've had many a conversation with Jade Lawrence, who was our guest this evening. He's been listening to the podcast for a long time too. He's, I want to say, probably one of the like original.
He's OG, bro.
He is
legit OG. With a hell of a beard.
We've been
thank you.
Been talking about some house snakes and stuff recently because I got a pair last year at Daytona from Dustin Black. I don't know if it's a pair. I got two of them. Let me rephrase that. I use pair because it's faster than just saying I got two of them. One of them is a male.
I got 0.0.2.
Yeah. Talking to Jade about, what he's done with his and breeding his, and I don't know if I have a legit pair or not. It looks like I have a male for sure. The smaller one I still haven't taken the time to actually look at and sort of determine. But I've talked about them recently. Like, I'm really enjoying those things. They're just albino amels, nothing crazy. Yeah, a lot of fun, really cool snakes. But Jade is also originally from South Africa, but he's now in Texas, so he's done a lot of moving.
I've been meaning to ask, man, and forgive me if this is out of line, but is it Yad or is it Jade?
It's Jade.
Okay, works for
I like
me.
the girl's name. So to all of the people who showed up to the video hoping to see a cute girl, I'm sorry to disappoint, but my mom named me a girl's name, and I just had to live with it.
That's cool, man.
I mean, I called you JD for the longest time.
It's actually pretty. It's cooler than my actual name, but I'm a stickler for accuracy, so Jade is it.
I was like, I don't know why he'd separate the D from it like that, but hey,
it's a Jade to the apostrophe D.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I won't lie. The first like bunch of times that him and I BS'd, and I think like even when we like got to the point where we were actually texting and not just social media-ing, I was like, oh, there's a D there. I just thought it was J. So
I've had all iterations: Jade, James, Jane, JD. Actually had that before. Don't worry about it. I'll answer to anything.
sounds good, man.
We
Sounds
should
good.
just add an ADDY to the end of it.
J-Day.
J Daddy.
Oh, I like Brandon Valentine. He says, "A Boy Named Sue." What a great song.
Oh man. Yeah. So house snakes. He's also recently started keeping some venomous.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, he's like, why haven't we had Jade on before? Because he's got all the stuff we like.
Yeah.
He fits the bill on so many fronts. So we're glad you're here, man.
Thanks. I feel like I'm not a professional like you
Neither
guys
are
and
we.
most of the people. I have a very small
You-
collection.
You think we're
have, like-
professional? Come on, man. We've chatted before.
That's fair. Yeah, I've kept house snakes a while. I also caught them in South Africa as a kid, and that was a lot of fun. So I have a little bit of experience, but I'm not the expert. If you want the expert on keeping them, breeding them, all the morphs, you probably want to talk to April. But in terms of how to keep them alive, I'm pretty good at that by now.
Excellent. So what brought you to North America? Because you were in Canada first, right?
I've been around the world. What brought me to Texas is freedom.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Enough said.
All right.
Hell yeah, brother.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say
I
'cause
actually
it's
did consider Florida versus Texas, and the Florida rules for keeping snakes was a pain in the butt. So Texas
Yeah.
has more freedoms
Dude.
there. So
I don't even live there,
Texas.
and I can tell you Florida sucks. Don't do it. Like,
Florida's amazing, except for the laws.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah. It is. Thanks. It's amazing.
a giant expanded version of Myrtle Beach. That's the entire state.
You shut your whore mouth, sir. We have our moments, but not the whole state.
A lot of moments.
No, I was gonna say because it's a daunting task to move yourself and the collection and your family, rugrats and all, across continents and across worlds. But we're glad you made it, man.
Thanks very much. Classic. As I started talking, I can hear baby screaming in the background. So can you give
You
me
don't
2
hear it.
minutes? I'll be back.
Yeah. Do your
I
thing,
need to
man.
go. I need to go quiet. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Sorry.
No worries. No worries.
It's probably just Jake somewhere crying.
That's funny, man.
You ever keep any house snakes? With
I
all your
did.
your African adventures, as far as stuff in your room.
Oh yeah, I've had. Are they still bowed on?
It's like 3 different genuses now.
So I had
it's gotten out of hand. Like,
all right, let's call it this way. I had 2 different localities of Capensis. I had Fulaginosis. I had black Fulaginosis that were supposed to be out of, oh God, what country was it? I had black Fulaginosis that were supposed to come out of Togo, but if you look at the INAT observations, there are none in Togo, and that shit was 1000% smuggled across the border from Liberia. So I had those, tried to breed those, got slugs. That was poopy. And then I had a couple funky Capensis. I don't even know what you guys call them, mutts, because they were labeled as Capensis, but they weren't. They were 1000% hybrids with some other species. But yeah, I've had just a handful, a smattering of them over the years, but nothing really long term. I think the black Fulaginosis were the longest, and I think I had those for like 6 years, and that was it. But I always got babies and raised them up, and yeah.
I think the way I described them when we were talking about them in the group chat the other night was like they're Antaresia with none of the bullshit.
Yeah, legit.
Yeah, definitely.
Legit, bro. Legit.
Everything great about Antaresia and none of the bad.
Yeah.
I would call them poor man's Antaresia, but I guess that's not generous.
Oh.
Yeah. And I won't lie, our good friend Powell in West Coast Florida, he's got multiple morph of Namibians.
Oh, does he?
I think he's got 2 different localities, and he's got albinos. And dude, the Namibians are so freaking cool, man. So freaking cool. Just the eyes, the eye structure is like they're placed more on top of the head with the great pupils. Oh, yeah. Sorry, continue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I grew up, they were all Lamprophis.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there was just Phylogenosis. There was no other brown house snake. So I grew up with it just being brown house snakes. And then
Oh,
at
wow.
some point, they just made their own genus. And then they split things out. Other things that were in the same genus, like olive house snakes in South African ones, are now out and they're with the South African water snakes. So they've kind of ruined my childhood. But the main things that I keep is the capes. I've tried to keep the black ones. They just don't do it for me. I had a green one at some point, but and I have one striped one at the moment that I have on morph market. But yeah, the capes are the ones I grew up with, and they're the ones with the morphs, so that's fun. Yeah, I just focus on them.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, I think after sort of looking through Morph Market and a lot of the, it was on April's website, housesnakemorphs.com, sort of reading some of the articles she had, like, I'm kind of in agreement with you that, like, the olives and the greens and the blacks, like, they're cool, but they definitely they don't rustle my jimmies like the capes do. Like, I don't know, I think it's just that head pattern, and
Yeah.
it's that just the silkiness and I don't, I'm right there with you.
And the capes are very hardy as well. I've had people when I sell some baby snakes, they ask me how to keep them and everything, and they're basically like a corn snake. But they eat really well. So sometimes corn snakes can be finicky. Their house snakes eat very well. The only common things I've seen with them is people keeping them too hot and letting them dry out. As long as you have a moist hide and you don't heat them too much, they're rock solid. They're really good.
Yeah, I've been rocking mine. They're just on aspen with a a small water bowl and a little like paper towel tube hide, like a half of that, and I got them ambient. I don't even have them on heat, and they eat every time. Haven't had a bad shed. Like, they've been doing great. They're awesome. I think my only initial concern when I first got him from Dustin Black, because he had just hatched him before Daytona. I think maybe he had managed to get one meal in one of them, and the other one hadn't started yet. But them coming in and being so small, and him being like, dude, they can take a small pink, like, believe it or not. And I was like, dude, there's no fucking way. Like, when he showed me, I was like, bullshit. There is no way that pinky is going in that snake. And he's like, trust me. And I was like, okay, and offered it up, and it's unbelievable. Because he was like, dude, they can take huge meals. And I was like, yeah, but, like, how huge is huge? Like, huge in ratio to, like, a tiny cocktail straw snake. Like, okay, so can a lot of other stuff. I was like, there's no way these are taking a pinky. And I'll be damned. Dude, it's and then I've talked about it recently on other episodes of stuff, like the growth rate from those huge meals. Like, I feel like even in between meals, like, the size they were gaining was, like, damn near exponential. Like, they were growing so much and putting on so much, like, size to them so quickly. It was wild to watch it firsthand.
Yeah.
Little machines, dude.
Yeah, they're really good. That's the same usual thing with baby snakes. Sometimes they take a couple attempts to get going. Usually the only ones I've had a lot of issue with is twins, when you had two snakes come out of one egg, because then they're half the size of a normal baby house snake, and baby house snakes are small to begin with. So I had some issues with that. They did take a few, but they didn't last a long time. But the rest of the house snakes, maybe they'll take a couple tries, maybe a month to start going, and then they're good to go. So yeah, they're pretty forgiving. I like them.
Used a meal since. Like, I just drop feed now. I just pop a frozen thawed pinky in the little hide, and it's gone in no time. So, but they're awesome. I would like to get more. Like I said, I sent you the picture of the shed from the bigger of the two that I had, and I think we established that one's probably a male. But I've not bothered to figure out what the sex is of the other one. But I want more. Like, I don't even care if I get 2 more males. Like, I'm just enjoying them so much that I would like to have a couple more. Sort of a similar vein to the rough scaled sandbow is for me. It's just like, they're just fun. I'm enjoying them. Lineatus have really got my attention. Michael Gillen was talking about, you should see baby Lineatus. They take tiny pinks too. Like, the strikingness of those is really drawn. Like, I'm drawn to that. They're such cool little snakes. Someone described them to me a long time ago as, like, more python than colubrid.
Yeah.
And I can't agree with that more. Like it's
Yeah, like micro pythons.
that's why I like Antaresia is anytime I'm messing with mine, like that's what they remind me of the most is like when I had baby children on it was like these are just like these, just in terms of like how they move, like the ferocity with food, like but none of the finger biting and goofiness, and they're awesome
And
snakes.
the Antaresia, if you don't have them warm enough, in my experience with them, they'll stop eating. But house snakes, there seems to be no range at which they won't function normal. You keep them however, you can put them in heat, you can not. They just work, which I like. So that was one adjustment when I first got Jordan's pythons. The male just stopped eating. I was like, what do I do? And then I need to turn the heating up. That's weird. I've not had that with any of my snakes. I usually keep ambient. Even when I've had a rack, I'll put heat tape, but the snakes usually sit in the cool side anyway. So that's one of the big differences I would say between them.
Yeah, man. Bulletproof.
So at what age did you get into herps and sort of did living in South Africa really, did you do a lot of herping as a kid when you were getting into it?
As a kid, no. My mom was afraid of snakes. I grew up my whole life just kind of like being told they're scary, they'll kill you, things like that. It's one of those things. Sometimes when you grow up, you don't you take things for granted, like, and then you have a Santa moment. You're like, wait, I don't have to do this thing, like, and your whole paradigm shatters. That's what happened when a buddy brought a snake to school in his blazer pocket. In South Africa, we have like the uniforms and stuff at school. So just a snake in his blazer pocket, he pulled it out, and it was a little African house snake. And from that moment, it's like, wait, you don't have to be afraid of them. And from then, we would spend all our spare time walking around flipping rocks. In South Africa, it's mostly flipping. That's like the most successful way. So when I discovered road cruising, it took me a while to get used to it because we just flip trash all day long, and that's where the house snakes were. And yeah, it was kind of love at first sight from there. I think a little bit was Dinosaur Kid, a little bit Pokemon, because it's kind of like walking around finding stuff for a while. That's cool. And then just house snakes are awesome. And of all the species in South Africa, they're kind of the one that would be the nicest to keep. Our version of a corn snake.
Mm-hmm.
And they're everywhere. They're one of the more successful species, like all the way up Africa. They'll give them different names, they'll put them in different groups, but they all brown snake, black snake, green snake, whatever, and they have the head stripes on them. So as far as I'm concerned, they're all house snakes. They can put them in different genuses. I don't care. But yeah, they're very hardy and they're awesome. Yeah.
That's
How many would you guys, like if you guys went out on in a day, like what was the typical, how many were you usually finding?
Hoping in South Africa is not as fruitful as it is here. We would go whole days and be happy to find one snake. So,
wow.
That wasn't very fruitful. But of, say, we caught 10 snakes over however long it took us to find 10 snakes. 3 or 4 of those would be house snakes. Maybe 5 or 6 of them would be the red lip snakes, the herald snakes. And then the rest would be thread snakes, blind snakes, grass snakes of some description, that kind of thing.
Where in South Africa were you? Like, where'd you grow up? Multiple places?
KwaZulu-Natal, around a little town called Escort, which is 2 hours from Durban. And I was friends with a lot of the snake guys who are known from there, like Tyrone Ping. More when I got to university, hung out with him, hoped a few times. And then some of the other guys that I knew from school. And yeah, in KwaZulu-Natal, at the time, it was the only province that you didn't need a permit whatsoever to keep native stuff. Most of the other provinces need permits. So I just happened to be in the one place in South Africa that we were allowed to herp. Maybe if I grew up in the Western Cape or something like that, it'd be different. But yeah, it was fun. We would catch stuff, keep it for a while, and then we would get bored, let it go, and get another bigger one. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Awesome. That's awesome. And he just put out a new book. What was it, last year, right? He put out a photo book of snakes of, there it is. There it is.
Look at that.
Yeah. Do I need another book on snakes of South Africa? No. But Tyron's my boy, and I had to support him by buying it.
Absolutely.
I made sure to buy it directly from him and got it signed and everything. So
good.
I feel like that's a way to
My favorite of all the Rinkhals pictures I've accumulated over the years, my ultimate favorite picture it's actually the wallpaper on my computer right now is one that he took of a rink in KwaZulu-Natal where it got its dark winter colors. It's like black with like a dark, almost like amber yellow bands, and it's basking on a sheet of ice in the snow.
That's awesome.
That's my favorite picture he's ever taken. So.
Yeah, he's good at photography, but what it means is hoping with him is a pain because you'll find a centipede eater and he'll set up in half an hour. He's taking pictures of it. I'm like, bro, let's move on. There's snakes to get to.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting there taking pictures. Now, his pictures are amazing, but there's a lot of setup involved.
Yeah, for sure. I can only imagine, man.
Surely
watching the guys in South Africa like Tyrone and some of the other guys who have the YouTube channels and are still catching snakes and stuff. It's quite nostalgic for me.
That's great.
Surely you found some scorpions.
Oh yeah, we would find. Don't ask me what type they are. They were like kind of flat. They had a small pincer and they had the big pincers and a small tail. We would find a lot of those, usually black. We would find those and the flat spiders with little claws. There's one in Harry Potter and he makes it big. Whatever those types of spiders are.
Camel spiders?
No, not the solifuge. I'll have to come back to it. I think it's like flat rock spiders or something that we call them. We would see those a lot. We'd also see millipedes, some centipedes, all that kind of stuff. But for us, it was flip a rock, see a scorpion, see a millipede, like, dang it, and keep going. So we didn't mess with them too much. I know the one time we did, I was at a friend's game reserve or game farm that he was working there at, and he invited all his boys to look for snakes. And we caught a bunch of the scorpions. We put them in a container, brought it back, and there was just one fat one by the time we got back because the one had eaten all the other ones.
That's awesome.
They're pretty metal.
That's fucking great. That's awesome.
Yeah. It was also really good to find chameleons in the wild, which is something that I haven't been around since. We'd have the flap neck chameleons, I think.
Yeah,
and then we would have the KwaZulu-Natal dwarf chameleons, which I saw a few times and also went with Tyrone to get. And that was always fun finding one of those. The one time we were driving around the city that we lived, and I saw one on the road, and I swerved, and then a minibus taxi just comes past and just plows it right over.
Oh, jeez.
Damn.
It was so crushing. Like, they don't even do anything wrong. You can see someone swerving for like a snake or something, but chameleons, yeah. That was funny.
Damn.
After the fact, it was funny. It was sad then.
But that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. I think of all the African herpetofauna, most of the stuff that comes out of KwaZulu-Natal is probably my favorite in terms of like patterning and coloration and the fact that the ecosystems are so diverse in that little part of the world. Like, like the same species is different from Durban to Peter Martinsburg. Like, what's that? Like an hour and a half, 2 hour drive?
1 hour.
Even 1 hour. Yeah. And they're completely different looking. And like, you don't get that in a lot of places, let alone. Yeah. It's just awesome, man. I spent too much time on fucking Google Earth.
I think the only one that I would say that they have better elsewhere is in the Western Cape. The Aurora house snakes have like instead of the dark olive green, they have more like a yellowy buttery base color, and those are quite stunning.
Okay, very cool. Very cool.
Have you done much with those?
I have a pair of Auroras. Before I moved to Texas, I did breed a pair. I had 5 babies, and I thought, with each new species introduced to the hobby, you need that one person who goes through the culling to select down to the ones that will actually eat, and then propagate those. And I did that. I had 5 babies. I kept trying to feed them mice. I would send them and everything. I got down to 4 babies, 3 babies, and then 2 that were little pigs. They were just amazing. They were smashing pinkies. I was really happy. When we moved to Texas, the guy who I sent them with lost them. So my 2 babies that I had raised and had selected for, gone. He did make up for it. There was another shipment coming in, and he got me 2 more babies, and then I bought an additional 2 babies, but they didn't take off. I was feeding them mouse tails. I was trying to get them on like pinky heads, whatever. They just one by one they started dropping. So Aurora house snakes, not good house snakes to keep. African Cape house snakes are good ones to keep. The Aurora one is kind of like a passion project. I still have the female, but I'm not sure if she can still have babies. That the one cut she did have, she got stuck with an egg in her, and I tried to palpate her. When the eggs came out, there was a film over them. So I don't know if I ruined her, like one of the insides of her that keeps the eggs. I can't remember the name for it. I might have squeezed that out or something. Yeah, I might have messed her up. So that one's on me. Since then, I did get one giant egg out of her, but it wasn't good by the time I got to it. So it's still possible that I'll breed her. But yeah, that's kind of a sad one. So now I just have a pair. I don't know if I can breed them, but they're awesome, and I'm going to keep.
It's just a species that people seem to just never really took off. Is it like, is breeding them, like actually getting eggs, the difficult part, or is it just the babies are difficult?
I think if you're spoiled by normal house snakes, which normal house snakes to breed them, you need a male and female, you put them together, and then you'll get eggs. Like, that's it. There's no complicated part. It's snake breeding on easy. With the Auroras, you have to treat them a little bit more like North American ones, where you have to cool them, introduce them together. I remember I introduced them together in my basement in Canada when they were overwintering there, and they were locked up while in brumation together because I just put them in the same tub. So that was the successful breeding that I got out of them. So I don't think it's too difficult. I think most of it would be establishing the babies. They're even smaller than house snake babies, and they just don't take off as well. I think most of their life they're pretty fossorial compared to the other house snakes. They're in a different genus now, and to be fair, they're not very similar to normal house snakes. They just are called house snakes. So
yeah, they're definitely shaped different. Like, you look at those two, and you probably wouldn't, if the normal person could see those two next to each other, and probably wouldn't think they were related.
Yeah, 100%.
They're so high into the right from everything else in that genus.
Yeah.
Our buddy Tyson was asking, I guess there was a Brian Barczak video from when he went to South Africa of a Gunston corn, which I guess is a type of corn morph that you guys had in South Africa. He didn't know if you were familiar with it.
No, I'm not familiar with it. I did breed some corn snakes in South Africa, but I think they were just like silver corn, snows, albinos, or albinos, as you guys say, MLs. And also bred Texas rat snakes before, when I was in South Africa, even before Texas was a dream, which is pretty funny.
Nice, that's awesome.
I had 2 hets for the leucistic, and I had some leucistic babies.
Very cool.
In the Corn Stars chat, we have a gentleman who's from South Africa. It's Brian's Corn Snakes on Instagram, and we talk to him all the time about, like, you know, what do you guys have over there, like, morph wise, and like, they really don't have a whole lot in terms of, not even just in morphs and corns, but like in general. Like, he was explaining to us how difficult it is to get your hands on some stuff, or a lot of stuff over there, because we were like, man, we should, you know, there's 10 of us in that chat and everyone's producing awesome stuff, and we're like, man, we should all send stuff to Brian and get stuff over in South Africa. And then he, like, explained how much money that would be, and we're like, oh, okay, that's why there's nothing over there. Like, it's expensive. So
yeah, we were able to get stuff from South Africa. There's a big breeder, Ultimate Exotics, I think it was, down in Natal. He would bring stuff up to Ham. He did it a couple times, I think. And then from Ham, it's pretty easy to get to the rest of the world. But I think via the grapevine, he has people in China wanting a lot of his snakes, and they're paying more, so he just sends them off all to them, and there's apparently less paperwork there. So you can't blame the man. That's the hustle.
Yeah, I heard from some inside government type people that there was some individuals who were, how do I phrase this? Not exactly truthful in their lineage paperwork, leaving KwaZulu-Natal, and all going to China, and like big money China. And even some snakes that China said, we want them back, if you catch my drift. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And South Africa extradited people, and China came and picked them up, and it was not good. So I imagine within the next couple of years, KwaZulu-Natal's export stuff is probably going to change, maybe not dynamically, but you're definitely going to see less stuff, less captive bred stuff leaving South Africa, even less than there already is right now, at least in my opinion.
Well, it was a bummer because I was like, Brian, we gotta like, can you at least get rhino rats over there? And he's like, there's like 2 people he knows of that have some, and he's like, they're astronomical. Because I was like, I'll send you a box of them. I'll help the rhino invasion of South Africa. Like I'll participate.
Yeah, that's something that we legitimately used to do maybe 15, almost 20 years ago now. Jesus, I'm old. And we would put together a box. So let's say Swiss Air was $1,200 for the crate, right? We would fill that crate with pine snakes and corn snakes and red rats, yellow rats and Texas rats and whatever normal North American colubrids that we could, Western diamondback rattlesnakes, atrox, whether it was morphs or regulars, and we would ship that south, and then they would mail us green bush snakes, house snakes, stilettos, biberons, whatever, the occasional cobra, all captive bred stuff, because that was the thing. It was like captive bred for captive bred.
Right.
And then that kind of dried up, man, because people kept getting slaps on the wrist, and slaps on the wrist turned into handcuffs. And then they're like, oh yeah, we have corn snakes. We don't need them. Thanks a lot. So
yeah.
The good old days.
It'd be nice if they can get stuff out of South Africa to here. If I'm making my wish list, the first on there would be Cape file snakes. At one point they did come in. I remember Brian Barczyk did a video on them. They were like $1,500, which is a lot of money. So I usually am not a high roller with those things. I don't even have the fancy house snake morphs. I wait for them to get cheap and then get involved. Those are really nice though. They have the white line. I remember hearing something, it could be BSing, but something like that scale line is somehow like fused to their vertebral or something like that. Don't quote me on it, but there's something special about the white line that goes on the back there. The scales look different to all the other scales on them, and none of the other types of file snakes have that. So they're a fun species. Interesting fact about them, they kind of give off like a musk type stuff, but not necessarily when they're upset, but their cage just kind of smells like death. So they have a stank to them, which my wife let me know that I will not be having file snakes in the house. So it's a good thing I have a snake room. Yeah. And then the other species would be the herald snake. Those are the red-lipped snake. They're a rear fang venomous, but they're kind of like the hognose in that if they zap you, nothing really happens. I think it's very, very mildly hemotoxic. I'm guessing because when you bite, you would just bleed a lot. Otherwise, you'd be good to go. Some people would say they get headaches, but it might be psychosomatic. But those were them and the house snakes were the 2 most common thing we found, and they're quite fun. And they're also frog eaters like the hognose snakes, and that would be a fun thing to keep.
Yeah, I had red-lipped and white-lipped, the Tana, and the red lips are cool, but honestly, the Tana heralds were probably my favorite. But like you said, I got rid of them because I couldn't keep feeding them frogs. I would, at the time I was had a pretty stable source for a 2-liter soda bottle filled with green tree frogs, but now here I am keeping 50 green tree frogs alive.
Yeah.
So that I can feed 2 of them to each snake every week. And it's like, well, what am I doing here? What is this? So, but yeah, man, the heralds are awesome. I think they're cooler than hognose.
Yeah, I think with them as well, people just need to spend time with them. I think when eventually you can get them over to doing what you want, maybe their biology is incompatible with that and they get fatty liver and die if they eat rodents or something. I've heard some snakes do that, but in general, you need to give it a good go, see what it'll take the rodents and see where it goes.
I mean, we also have frog legs. Like, frog legs aren't difficult to get a hold of.
Oh yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah, but the problem is this is like the size of a fast food straw.
Yeah, but you can cut, like, there's plenty of meat on the frog legs that I've gotten in the past where you can cut it down to what you needed it for. But,
yeah, I guess. This is also all import stuff, and just T-Rex doesn't want to be fed. It wants to hunt. So
what's your experience been like as far as imported house snakes? do you find those transition pretty well over to captivity? Have you had any particular difficulties with wild caughts?
Imported and wild caught are sometimes the same thing, sometimes separate. I have imported my snakes through various countries to get here, but they were captive bred to begin with, and there's been no problems with them other than losing two, but that wasn't like, that was a different thing. I've had here in Texas, I got a few house snakes from other people, and I've not had issues with them other than one of the lineatus, the lion house snakes.
Mm-hmm.
The one female I had passed, and I don't know what the reason was. But otherwise, they seem pretty solid. The ones that I got were adults, and the males, when house snakes get to adult size, the males kind of stop feeding as often. So they'll just get to full size, and then they will eat once every 2 weeks to once a month. And you can put rodents in there, they will just not eat them.
Yeah.
They just kind of turn that switch off. So the wild caught ones did that, but that's kind of normal. So, but otherwise, I think it's fine. I have a big house snake female, just hatched eggs from her. Because she's het albino, I assume she's not wild, but I don't know where she came from. But a lot of these are just kind of collect house snakes sometimes. But I guess she's not wild because she's het albino. But yeah, I had a mentalis, the ones with the big bulby eyes, and I had a trio of those, and I just they don't hold a candle to the capes from me, so I kind of moved them on. But while I had them, they were fine. They were rock solid. Again, the females eat every week, or whenever I feed them, and then the males will skip every other, just on their own. I'll keep putting a mouse in, they just will skip. So I've not had any issues.
Yeah, they're they just strike me as I mean, we see a lot of wild caught ones on tables and stuff at various shows, and I guess enough people are buying them for them to keep coming in, but they've never struck me as a difficult species as far as transitioning from wild caughts to captives. It wouldn't surprise. I mean, I'm assuming they're probably not too far off from like the corns, because like I am always amazed at how smoothly corns transition into captivity, whether adults or even babies. You know, I'll that trio of corns that I got this year, like I think I had them for a couple of days, and then I offered them frozen thawed, and they take it.
They just eat it, man.
Yeah, dude, it's amazing. There's like zero hesitation. They're like, oh, okay. Like they don't even wrap it. It's almost like they know that it's not alive and kicking. It's just weird how.
Yeah, man. Anything East Coast,
it's
like
so bizarre.
Yellows, blacks, corns, they just do it.
Yeah, when we were younger and we first got into house snakes, we had a few that were maybe like yearling size that we couldn't get eating lizards when we tried to catch wall lizards and feed it to them. But we were very, very inexperienced, so I don't know if that adds to the equation or not. But anything captive bred, I've not had issue with. So
Now,
I would take a gamble with it, and knowing how easy house snakes are, it would probably worth taking a gamble if you see them and they have some traits that you want.
How much of the wild house snake stuff, by like where you grew up, was their diet was rodent, or was it mostly lizards?
I assume, like most snakes that end up eating rodents, that they eat lizards when they're younger, and when they get bigger, then they switch to rodents. I didn't observe any eating in the wild. We would just catch them and then feed them mice, and the big ones took no problem. So I assume that they're doing that. There's a lot of skinks and stuff where you would find the house snakes. Some of the legless skinks, some had legs. So I assume that they're eating mainly those.
Very interesting.
Yeah, if I ever breed them, I think that would be such a good species to do the mouse cutting experiment with again, because
for sure.
And seeing the growth rates in those, like me and Jake were talking about when we were road cruising a couple nights ago. It's like I feel like they'd be an awesome species to do that with, because you would see results, but it would be so much more apparent in those, I think, compared to corn snakes. Like the results would be way more obvious, because it just seems like the growth rate when they're babies and you get them going, man, it's unbelievable how quickly they put on size, that I feel like that'd be really interesting to map that out again and do it with. And it, also the fact that you get so many clutches in a year and so many babies that you've got a decent sample size too. Especially if you have multiple females. I mean, good Lord. It sounds like they're just egg machines.
Yeah, they are. Even if you don't breed her a second time, she's going to have a second clutch eggs. That's just how that works.
What's the average clutch size?
Probably around 10. I had a 15 egg clutch that I've gotten 11 out of. 2 eggs look like they're not going to go, and then the last 2 were infertile. So I think around 10 is maybe more for the bigger ones, less for the small ones.
And they're fairly elongated egg, or is it more round?
No, they're pretty round.
Pretty round.
Okay.
Yeah. And then do you always incubate, or do you ever, like, is it a bookshelfable type egg, or?
So I'm still in contact with some of the guys from South Africa, and I remember the first time I bred them outside of South Africa, I asked them, so what temperature do I put them at? And they said, put them in a container and put it in your cupboard and forget about it.
That's it. Yep, the bookshelf.
That's what I did this time. I keep my room at about 80 Fahrenheit, and they were in there, but I've also kept them cooler than that, and they've hatched, so they're pretty forgiving.
Nice, just like mom and dad, right?
Yeah.
And then let me ask you this on the same notion: did you notice it longer on the bookshelf, or was it the same?
They're about the same. What I do is when I get a clutch of eggs, I go ahead 2 weeks in the 2 months in the calendar. I expect eggs there, but I kind of I've learned from experience that I need to backtrack that by a week, and that's actually when they hatch. So a week short of 2 months is pretty much where they hatch. And this one that was at 80, that's when they hatched. Other ones that are put in an incubator, that's when they hatch. So it seems pretty consistent. But I'm sure if you actually did like side by side tests, they would have that distribution. But I've not seen a difference.
That's fantastic. So cool, man. So cool.
Yeah, it's snake breeding on easy. I feel like an imposter being here because I don't do anything. You just put snakes together, put the eggs on the shelf, and you get baby house snakes. You put pinkies in, and you have baby house snakes eating. It's on easy.
Dude, I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it. You're making me want to get them again.
Yeah.
Every time I open the containers to mine and I just look at them like, fuck, these are cool. And I was telling Jade before we started, like, I'm almost mad at myself that it took so long for me to get some. Because when Black had those, he's like, hey, anybody want some house? I was like, me. It's like, because I've wanted some since I was a kid, like since the early 2000s. I remember reading about them, and then we were at some sort of rescue or something, and they had one, and I wanted it, but they were like, it's really bitey. You're not going to give that. I was like, 10 at the time or whatever. And ever since then, it's like I've always seen them, never pulled the trigger on them. And then finally, when Black was like, I got some, I was like, hook it up.
Nice.
And now I love them. They're awesome. I'm hoping that by us sort of getting into them, that people will stop to
absolutely
take a look at them and think about it.
TIA.
Yeah. But going into sort of sexing stuff, Jade clued me in on a little trick here. Let me pull it up. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Like, I doubt you can see the little black spots. Are numbers.
Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah.
So explain.
You can't zoom in on that, Smitty? Can you make it full screen? Just like take us out of it?
Yeah. Good idea.
So just for the listeners at home, we're looking at a zoomed in picture of a house snake's tail. At the top is the vent, and at the bottom is the tip of the tail. And Jade has made markers in numbers. Those are numbers, right?
Yeah.
Numbers, every so many scales is a number. And hopefully Jade will be cool enough to let us repost this later, because this is fascinating stuff. But please go on.
Yeah, sure. So house snakes, they are sexually dimorphic with regards to their tail length. So with an adult, you pick up the adult, you look at his tail. The male has an extremely long tail, like almost double the length of the female's tail for the same size of snake. And that is present in babies as well. So what you can do is you can take a picture of the bottom of the tail, count from the vent, scales up one side of the tail. So that's just every 10 I put a mark. And then this one is 55. So anything 55 and under is a female, and the males are high 60s and above. So it's a fairly reliable way that you don't really need any skill other than with the camera to do this. And yeah, you just count up the one side, low 50s, female.
And
Now,
you say up the one side because they start, but beyond the vent, they start as singular scales, and then within maybe an inch they split.
No, they're split the whole way down.
Oh,
It's just
okay.
there's no point in counting both sides because the
okay.
number's going to be the same. That's
Okay.
that's why I specify one side. Otherwise, it'll be like 110 versus whatever.
Okay.
And then this one's a male. So this I start at the vent counting, and this one gets to about 70. So near the end, it's kind of hard to tell. So you just fudge the numbers. But if it's over 60 towards 70, it's definitely a male. And
I mean, maybe because
how much bigger it is.
Yeah, maybe because we're just looking at it fresh right now, but that tail looks dynamically longer, just visually.
Yeah. Sometimes you can, but this is blown up quite a lot. When you got a squirmy snake in front of you, it's really hard. Now, Smitty showed me up big time by he sends me a picture of this snake shedding. I was like, holy cow! How in the years of house snake breeding has it never occurred to me just to take a picture of the snake shedding when you don't have a squirmy snake? So
yeah. Just take a picture of the shed.
I did. I was like, "What do you?" I was like, "What do you think this is?" He's like, "Son of a bitch."
That was a Dumbo moment for me. So he sent me one of his, and I did the same thing. I just open up GIMP or Photoshop or whatever, count, put a number, put a number. Just counting I'll count 10. The 10th one, I'll put the number 10. I've also printed them out and done it by hand, but
I think my smaller one shed the other day too. I'm gonna go see if I can dig that out of the trash. I'll be right back.
Nice.
Well, and then let me ask you this, and forgive me if this is barbaric, but how easy do house snakes pop?
I have no idea. I've never done it. I've never had to.
Fair enough.
I assume it's the same as normal snakes, but
yeah, because some colubrids are very easy. Like, I mean, subocs, if you just look at them funny, they'll pop. But other snakes I've had where I literally had to do probes. I had to do pin probes because I just couldn't get them to show the goods.
Yeah, I would think that, however, Antaresia these would be similar. The body structure of the Cape house snakes is very muscular, like a python,
right?
Versus something like a corn snake, which is less bendy. I don't know how to describe that. So I imagine, however that is, you do it here. But this method works so easily, you don't potentially hurt the snake.
Sure.
And it's reliable. I don't have to worry about second guessing myself as long as I didn't mix up the pictures. We're good to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I'm a computer nerd, so anything I can use the computer to figure out stuff like that, I'm all about.
Yeah, man, absolutely. We my good friend Henry has a book. It's an older book. I don't think it's in publication anymore, but it's very thick, and it's basically the venomous snake breeding Bible. I don't remember who wrote it or what it is. I've never been able to find one. He has the only copy that I know of, and it's a tome of a book, and it has almost every venomous snake that you would think to have in captivity from, say, 30, 40 years ago. The scientific names are all wrong. You know what I mean? Like, most of the husbandry data is very archaic and outdated, but it will say, okay, this snake breeds between first week in April to first week in July, and then you'll receive eggs 50 to 70 days after that, or whatever it is. But on almost every single species, it tells you a scale count post vent of the tail, much like what you did. The problem is, so many of these snakes, and specifically Henry, we're looking at king cobras because he breeds king cobras, is so vague because the tail is like almost 2-3 feet long of just tail. So it's like between 162 and 184 could be a female. Like, what? How do you get those numbers? You know what I mean? Funny. At least with yours, it's like 10 off, So,
yeah. And if you have a whole clutch, even if you forget what the numbers are, or I haven't tried it with other house snake species, but if you count them and you get 2 clumps of data, then the shorter one's female. So even if you forget the exact numbers.
Yeah. I mean, and that's another reason why I love Bitis, because it's just one's short and one's long and easy peasy, right?
Yeah, I still need to learn how to visually sex the vipers. I believe you can do that with rattlesnakes, but
It's tough with
I'm
rattlesnakes.
hands off with the rattlesnakes. So
Yeah, it's tough.
leave
I
them
mean,
alone.
Bitis is a joke. It's like, okay, which one looks like your thumb and which one looks like your pinky? You know?
Yeah, it's like hog noses.
Yeah, exactly. So, what
So
are we looking at here?
Don't call me a liar, Phil. The long eggs are speckled king snake eggs. I ran out of vermiculite, so I just shoved those in. That'll give you a side by side. So there's
That's
4 long
great.
eggs, and then the other one, which are like maybe twice as long as they are wide.
Mhm.
In the middle is the house snakes, and then the king snakes are like 3 times as long as
And-
they are wide.
You never told me you had speckled kings. That's fantastic.
Yeah, we've. I really want to establish a locality for my county, not because they're anything special, but it'll just be cool to do that. So
Hell yeah, man.
my neighbor,
Hell yeah.
or my buddy up the road, he found one, and I came and caught it, and a buddy caught another one a couple counties away, and it laid eggs, so we kept the eggs. So
Excellent. That's awesome, man. Love those things.
Ooh.
Oh, there it is. Look at that. Look at that
this is-
specimen.
this is my breeding project. House snakes do have morphs, but the base color and pattern has so much variation to it that I'm trying to bring out the contrast.
Yeah.
And this is, I think, the 3rd generation in where this girl has a lot of white down her side and there's not much of the brown coloration underneath. Now you can see that she has a black eye, a black pupil, so that she will be a T positive albino.
Very cool.
This is kind of my side project, what I'm working on. Instead of just the morphs, I just have like 2 types of albino, and I'm just going for it with those, trying to make the prettiest ones I can.
Yeah. Oh, wait, go back and look at the healers, man. Damn, boy. Look at that smorgasbord.
Yeah, the one on the left is a male. It's got a giant head.
Yeah, yeah. Look
The
at
one
that
on
thing.
the right is a female.
Have you gotten any copulation or no?
Last year I did, and she laid 1 gigantic egg,
Okay.
but it was kind of soft and squishy and smell weird. So I think I didn't get to it in time, or it wasn't right or something.
Okay.
but-
Okay.
I was chatting on the Texas Venomous Facebook group, and a couple of guys like, "Oh, you should breed the heaters." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's a lot of effort. Like, to get them cold is hard to do." My
Yeah.
strategy for next year is to take my incubator out of the snake room, put it in the barn where it's open to the elements, and it does actually get cold here in Texas. So if I keep the temps in the incubator at like 65 or something, it'll heat it up to 65 and no further, so it'll allow it to drop down there. And I think something like that might work, but that's next year's problem.
I think it's a fantastic idea, man. How, I mean this in the most polite way possible, how bloody was copulation in terms of the male biting her and you know, dominance in copulation?
I don't notice much. I cohab them all the time.
Okay.
So they're just always together, and there's, even if they fight over food and stuff, I've never seen any blood.
Okay.
And there's always the thing of how did they react to their own venom? Apparently it's fine.
Yeah. That I'm familiar with, but I've had bad experiences and now I'm terrified. So
Fair enough.
yeah. But let's hear about house snakes. What do we got here?
This is a baby house snake from, I guess, 2 years ago. It's interesting, when they come out of the egg, the albinos are almost completely white, and then they get more of the brown coloration as they get older, which is interesting. This one seems to just have its pattern in stripes instead of the oscillated patterns, but I think this is one of the T plus albinos. Hey, the mug.
Hey, there it is.
I confuse everyone by actually putting coffee in my mug just to mess with people.
That's great.
Oh, that's nice too.
Oh, look at those little eyeliner, eyeshadow, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, they're kind of like Burmese pythons, the stripes
Yeah.
along the head.
Oh, gorgeous.
A little brittles action.
Yeah. There's the MFA reptiles. He's at all the Texas reptile shows, and I saw his Brettles 2 different occasions, and I voided his table because I didn't want to buy Brettles. And the third one, he got me talking to him, and I walked away with the Brettles. So I have a Brettles python.
Hey, man, I've seen you here the last couple shows. Come on over. Oh,
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
That's exactly how that happened.
Nice.
Yeah, you can see how pink and crazy looking they are when they come out,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then they color up as they get older.
Stunning, man. Stunning.
Oh, here we go, Phil.
There we
Yeah,
go.
that's a throwback to one of the KZN ones I caught.
I was going to say that's
Oof.
definitely KZN.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. I've been asking several people this. So in the U.S., a lot of times we import puffs that are captive bred from Europe or even captive bred from South Africa, and they call them Cape puffs. Like some of mine that I'm convinced are KZN, they're Cape puffs, but it's very misleading because when you look at puffs from Western Cape, they don't look anything like that. And then you look at puffs from Eastern Cape, and they just look like your nondescript brown and gray puff adders. So are people using that? Are Americans using the term Cape as a sales pitch, and they're really speaking about KZN stuff? Or is it just who the hell knows what it really is? It's just a good looking puff.
I am not qualified to speak on this, but I will say
Okay.
that puff adders occur all the way up Africa.
Yeah.
So in that way, Cape puff adders may be the same as Cape house snakes in that they occur in South Africa.
Yeah.
That would be my best guess, but I haven't kept puff adders in captivity, and I'm not familiar with that.
Well, I was very much politely and respectfully humbled by Francois Thiart. He messaged me. He's like, "Hey man, your puff adders are fantastic, but those Namibian ones, they're not from Namibia." And he sent me pictures because he's seen almost every single phenotype of puff adder in both Namibia and Angola and southwestern South Africa. And he was right, of course, but I still call them Namibian because they're line bred. That's what we tell people. They're line bred.
That's the label that they came with, and that's the label that they will
That's
have.
it, right? They're still gorgeous. I like them. So it's a good looking cotton. Is that cotton, right?
Yeah.
Western cotton.
I live in northeast
Yeah.
Texas, and cottonmouths are everywhere. And when it gets really hot and it's too hot to even road cruise, we'll go down to the rivers and stuff and just walk along the banks at night, and we'll trip over like 19 cottonmouths in a night.
Oh, I love it.
Out here.
And Western cottons are just a completely different creature. Just the personality on them is just so much more silently boisterous, if that makes sense. Oh, there it is.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't catch these ones. We bought these some clouds.
That's fine.
Well,
we're going to get to your herping in a minute.
Yeah. Okay, we can do that. But yeah, this is a little. They're doing well. I think it's a year on from that size, the previous one.
Nice.
And they're doing well. They haven't skipped a meal. They're getting fat and big. The clouds are
good. Excellent.
And this is our version of the pygmy out here. The Carolina ones have us beat, but these are pretty nice.
Yeah. Oh, super cool.
You know, the more I see the Westerns, though, the more I think I like them more than the other pigs.
I don't know, man. I'm a dusky guy till the day I die.
I feel like a traitor for saying it, but the more Westerns I see, the more I'm like, I think I might dig those more.
Dude, look at that Western cotton. Dude, there's nothing like a Western cotton.
The babies, and especially when they're wet, their colors are crazy. We've seen a few that you kind of have to do a double take. Is that like a hybrid between a cottonmouth and a copperhead, or is that just a really pretty baby?
Now, you have copperheads by you. I see one right there. Are they more the southern look, or have you really gotten into some broadband stuff by where you live?
This one is from my yard.
Oh, nice.
So
nice.
This is the type that I get. I did keep him. I was like, you can't really get much more local of a locality than from your own yard.
Texas, if I ever seen one.
Yeah, so we live in the area of the southerns, which are now easterns.
Right.
But the broadbands are an hour's drive away from here.
Yeah.
And there's places in DFW where they overlap.
Nice.
Yeah, I guess
that's definitely an Eastern. Yeah. But look at how the bands are almost uniform and no spots. Oh, killer looking animal.
It's a weird looking dog.
Yeah, when we moved out here and got some land, a buddy from town said when the local petting zoo shut down, we just adopted out the animals, and they had this giant sulcata that I think is like 40 years old, and they asked if we wanted. I was like, heck yeah. So we got a giant sulcata, and he lives outside.
Excellent.
He's got some shade. He does his thing.
I was gonna say you didn't bring that from Canada,
No.
Look at that majestic bastard.
dude. It's a dinosaur,
If he
man.
had the sound on, it's playing the Jurassic Park theme in the back.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah.
So do you want to get onto herping?
Yeah, man. Let's hear about it because when you and I spoke before you moved, you were so excited and just tickled to get out there, and then you finally did, and man, you're killing it, bro. So how long have you been in Texas now? What, 2 years?
2.5, yeah.
2.5. Okay, I was close. So where have you been? What's the mission? What's the plan of attack?
Sure. Initially, I stalked a dude on Instagram who posted.
I stalked the dude. ... Go
on
on.
Instagram. I saw that he posted snakes from around DFW, and I messaged him and said, "Hey, can we go herping sometime?" Which most people would block me and move on, but he said sure. So we met up, and him and I started herping. He lives on the other side of DFW, so we don't hang out that often. But we went out and we saw first copperheads, and Justin strolled past earlier a Massasauga, and that was my first rattlesnake that I
Oh yeah, let's go.
It's a pretty crazy.
Oh, there it is.
It's a pretty crazy one to be your first.
I didn't realize y'all even had those.
Hell yeah. Look at that.
We have Massasaugas and pygmies, and I think we also had desert Massasaugas, which are now wrapped into these western ones. So that was the first year of herping here. And then last year, I met a buddy locally who is also into snakes, and he has a business that he wants to have a display of all the venomous snakes of Texas, live displays of them. Yeah. So we're on a mission to get all the venomous snakes of Texas. So we're just past halfway, but all the ones that are left are either the super rare ones or the ones we have to drive to the other side of the state for. So
excellent.
It's getting Massasauga has eluded us, even though I did catch one. It was one that it was a while before we started collecting, so we removed it. And I know people don't like herping collecting. I get it, but I have paid for my hunting license from the Texas government that allows me to collect these species, and I have a bag limit and everything. So it's all above board. It's all legal. We only collect the one that we want, and we let the rest that we find go. We're not selling these. We don't do anything like that.
Well said. Hear, hear.
Yeah. So yeah, we have Western Diamondback, the Atrox. We have Timber Rattlesnake. We have Eastern Black-tailed Rattlesnake. We have the Pygmy. We have the Lepidus. We have the Cloudbriar, although we cheated with the Cloudbriar. Then we have the two types of copperhead that we have, and they have the cottonmouth. And I think that's it. I might be missing something. But all the rest of the species we have to go really far for, like West Texas and things.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you been down there yet?
Yeah, we went in May. We got the Eastern Blacktail. Man, those things are beautiful. Their scientific name is Ornatus or something, but that's no joke. They're very, very pretty out there. And we also got a Lepidus. I think it's the one that I sent you a message, Phil, saying I've been following your venomous keeper protocols and looking around, and I turned the light on the other day. I looked around, and then there was the Lepidus on my shelf.
Yep.
Because we're using cages that had a hole cut to put the light in, and it must have escaped our brains to check that, because it just walked straight out of the hole that was perfectly sized for it. So that was dumb, but luckily all the venomous are in a locked room in the barn that is climate controlled and everything. It has a digital lock so the kids can't get in, and it's all safe.
Yeah. I mean, and honestly, it's native, so not the end of the world, but still lesson learned. But that's good, man. I'm glad that you saw it, you know.
Thanks. Yeah, it was West Texas.
And a great looking animal too.
Yeah, let me pull up some of the
Where, without getting too specific, maybe you told me, and I'm a horrible friend and I forgot, but where did you want to find the Lep?
Around Fort Davis.
Nice.
But we kind of were doing routes around Davis Mountain area, and went down towards the river and then back around. So we were just driving everywhere, and it was in that vague area.
Excellent.
What do we got going on here?
These may look like Stimsons. However, these are the spotted house snake or spotted rock rattlesnake. Those are the names for them. They were in the same genus as house snake. Who the heck knows the taxonomy now? But they are awesome, and they're really hard to find in South Africa. I spent many years looking for them, even going into the right areas where they are and not finding them. But they're really cool. So these are one of the house snake species that are on my bucket list. I think they do okay in captivity, but they are lizard eaters. They're pretty small.
I didn't know that existed. I just Googled it. This is incredible.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Wow.
We're going through the
Which genus are they in, Phil?
So it's its own monotypic genus now.
Okay.
It's a Alopesion or Alopekion. It's Alopekion guttatum. And it was Lycodon, then Alopekion or Alopesion, then Budon, and I guess now it's back to Alopekion or Alopesion. Wow.
Yeah, I have Johan Marais' book, The Snakes Guide to Snakes of Southern Africa.
The
and
new one
here,
with the Agusticeps on it?
I think the old one with the bush snake on it.
Okay,
and
yeah.
And here they are listed as spotted rock snake, and it is Lamprophis guttatus.
Lamprophis. Okay, Wikipedia is going
So
to get caught up.
They were in Lamprophis at one point, but this is an old book, so they likely have moved out. This has all of them in Lamprophis, including the capes, so this is very out of date. And now, this is crazy.
What year is the publication on that Marais book?
Give me a second.
Because I feel like that one with the bush snake's only like 5 years old.
Yeah. Where would one find this information? Second edition, 2004. That's the latest date that I can find in the context page. So
okay, so then, all right, never mind. Forgot I said anything.
So this that Smitty as here is an albino. I'm not sure which one. I guess T positive, marbled Cape house snake. This is one of the crazy new morphs that has come out.
Wow.
A buddy of mine has one of these, and it doesn't even look like a house snake anymore. It's crazy. Some of the
that's wild,
animals.
man.
So most of the house snake morphs so far have been all about color. I think the exception would be the mask, where the white mask just gets like super thick. I don't know if that one is well established or not, but this one is one of the crazy new ones. So I still have a lifeline back to South Africa, and I still see the cool stuff that gets established there, gets bred, and then eventually makes its way over.
Super cool.
Yeah, you can see Tyrone Ping's little watermark at the bottom. I shamelessly stole these from him. But I think these are one of the Cape ones that have more of the yellow in their pattern. Straight. Yeah. And this is Aurora house snake. Just want to clarify that. Yeah, this is a big female. This is from African Snakebite Institute. So I don't know where they took this one from. But Aurora's awesome. I'm waiting for Phil to react to this.
Oh, did he get up? Oh, no, there he is.
Son of a bitch. Dude, you got to zoom in on that Smitty.
Stand by.
This is a Fisk's house snake. Theoretically, it exists in someone's hand, but this is, I think, the rarest, if not the second rarest, of the house snake species. This is definitely the prettiest one.
That thing's killer.
Yeah, there's been a few caught and successfully kept. I don't know if anyone's bred them yet, but they are super, super rare.
And they all have that nub tail, right? They all have that tail that looks like a head.
Pass. I don't know. What you're seeing is one of the few pictures that exist of these things.
And dude, this is the this is the Mexican pine snake of house snakes. You know what I'm saying? This is the Janai of house snakes.
Yeah.
Freaking
So
man.
it was Lamprophis fiskii, but who knows what the genus is now? My book is out of date. It was in house snakes. It's probably not, but yeah, the pattern is crazy. Sometimes the black can go a little bit more purple in some of the pictures I've seen, or maybe that was just lighting. But yeah, it's wild. I really hope they kind of look a little bit bamboo rat snakey. I hope they get established. These would be amazing. I know a few people who have them, but they're under the radar because they haven't managed to get pairs and breed them or anything yet.
What's the locality type like? Is there even a locality?
The distribution is like 3 green dots in the middle of South Africa.
Yeah,
on the
Eastern Cape, right?
There's one in the Western Cape, one in the middle of the country, and one in like just south of Namibia. As far as green dots go,
yeah.
they're just crazy rare, and I think they spend a lot of time in like anthills and things like that. So you just don't see them.
I'm on the ASF's app because I remember there being. Yeah, here it is. So they're putting it down south in Western Cape, but look at that. I don't know if you can.
That's the same picture that I have in the book.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. That thing's killer, man. That's absolute killer.
So they say it's still in Lamprophis. That's good.
Yeah, and look at the map that they have, which I think that map is nonsense.
It's the theoretical places where they may be, but there's so few sightings that it's hard to actually build a distribution map. So somebody is showing a picture of a bin with the snake eggs container inside. This is how I open the incubator box because these things are like lightning fast straight out of the egg.
Stupid quick.
I may or may not have lost some in the HVAC vents in other houses, so this is how I open them now. They are extremely fast. Yeah, they're wild.
Which is funny. I don't know if it was you or Dustin Black that when I got them, I think it might have been you. You were like, put them in Sistema boxes right away because you got to damn near lock them up like they're Hannibal Lecter because they're so damn small.
Yeah. This is my current setup for the babies that just hatched. I did a late night trip to Walmart to get these tubs because I ran out of tubs. I thought I had them. I didn't. I only had lids. That was annoying. And when I was clipping them together, I realized that it didn't seal properly. Like it didn't clip. It wasn't a good mechanical seal. So I put them inside a gasket container that clips properly, just in case. I'm using full venomous protocol on non-venomous snakes because they will get out. It's not if, it's they will get out.
I love
they
it, man.
They stay in those types of tubs for an entire year before.
All the tubs with no lids.
Yeah.
That's so sad. We feel your pain, brother. We do.
Yeah, there's one escaping in the picture. Yeah, they're crazy.
Oh, super cute. Super cute.
Yeah, this was an interesting clutch. I had that unknown big brown female. I bred her to one of my spare T+ males that I just kind of keep around in case my main stud male pegs. And she threw half the clutch albino, and I had no idea that she was het. So I've been pretty lucky with breedings. Whenever breeding something like a silver corn or a brown normal house snake, I usually hit the het, which is crazy.
That's great, man. Now, what are the odds that this is a new line of albinism?
Very low.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
I had an established male that was T+, so they look like T+ babies.
Okay.
There is a new line that I'm aware of that Bushveld up in the northeast somewhere has.
Yeah, they're in Maryland, I think.
And then I think Garrett, is that his name? The Retic guy. He showed a video of him hatching these, and they were bright, luminous orange.
Really?
Crazy colors that I've not seen before. So I believe that there's a third type of albino, but I haven't looked into it that much. It's outside of my tax bracket, so I don't dream too hard on those yet.
Fair enough, man. Very cool. Very, very cool.
How's it been getting into venomous as far as keeping stuff? Because that's a fairly recent sort of shift, right?
Yeah, it's. I did watch all of Phil's videos, the 3 that exist. I think he has 3, right?
Horrible videos, man. I'm so sorry.
I'll take the information however it comes. I've also asked a few of the local venomous guys if I can like come and like ride along with them. They've been busy, life gets in the way. So we've been just trying to they're all vipers, rattlesnakes and things so long. So we've just been trying to keep things at arm's length. I don't put hands on. My buddy who the collection is for, most of the venomous, he's a little bit more of a cowboy and puts hands on. So if we do need to put hands on, he'll kind of pin and grab the head. I don't touch them. We try and use tools. We use them the best we can. Copperheads don't want to go on the tools, so sometimes we use the tongs. But we've done the whole thing. We've tested the tongs on your hands, so you get an idea of pressure. Mm-hmm. And I usually do it so loose that they fall out of the tongs most of the time I'm handling. I know the venomous guys frown on tongs, but at the end of the day, I have to prioritize my safety. And for copperheads that are going to flop on the ground and dart across the floor, I'll just use the tongs. We safely pick them up. We put them in a holding bin, close the lid, do what we need to, and then reverse the process. And it's been good so far. The one that we're most afraid of is the timber, because I mean the venom is crazy, but also it's just so active compared to the other rattlesnakes. Other rattlesnakes will stand their ground, but the timber, every time you go in there, he's alert. He's looking around the cage. When you put him back, he's just wiry. So
don't tread on me.
Yeah, he's the most cobra-like of the vipers that we have so far.
Now, have you been double hooking?
We've mainly been using the tongs for that.
So
and then if we
try double hooking.
Okay, we'll try that.
Yeah, try using 2 hooks and keep. You start at the first third and lift them up, and when you get a little gap, send the second hook in, and then slide backwards,
like you're flipping a grilled cheese.
And keep them as level as you can.
Okay.
That's actually I've been working on another video for like 6 months on double hooking, and I keep trashing the video because I started off with a rubber snake and that just didn't work, and then I started to do a cartoon like frame by frame, and I realized that I'm not a cartoonist, and that was a horrible thing. It looked like a flip book that an 8-year-old made, and that got scrapped. So I'm going to put something together about double hooking in the near future, but for the interim, just try using 2 hooks.
Yeah. I know my technique is bad. My technique is so far safe, at least for me. I do want to improve, so I'm eagerly awaiting your next version of that video. I do need to find some time. There's a bunch of good venomous guys. I have Alex England.
Good.
He's not too far away. I mean, he's a little bit closer to the Austin side, I think. But I have GTP Cat Patrick. I don't know his name. He keeps some. Yeah, he keeps some crazy venomous, and
he's got some wild stuff.
When my green tree python had a prolapse, he checked him out and everything like that, and it was all good. So yeah, I do have these guys around. It's just life is busy. It's hard to go all the way there at a time that's convenient for them when I have a bunch of kids and a farm to run and things like that. So I realize that's a failing on my part, but I do need to spend some time with the mentor.
Yeah, you'll get it, man. You'll get it. You're on the right path. You're doing everything right. So,
but I have resisted squams and gaboons because there's no readily available anti-venom. I don't know. I know you guys have that venom lab. We don't have something like that. There is a group of people here in Texas that will go through all the paperwork to get their own stash of anti-venom, and I want to do that, but that's a down the road thing. So far, I'm resisting that as long as I can until I can get those things in order.
Sure. All in good time, man. All in good time. How many snakes do you have? Let me rephrase that. How many venomous specimens do you currently have?
I'd say probably around 15.
That's a good set, man. That's a real good set. I tell people for the first 5 or 6 years to try to keep it less than the majority of your collection, because let's be real, anybody who keeps venomous is going to have non-venomous too. Like it's just mostly going to happen. So if you've got 20 snakes, try and keep less than 10 venomous. And like, obviously that's not a law. Like, you do what you want, do what makes you happy. But when you have less venomous than you do harmless, it is easier to balance things out. And a lot of times you can do the venomous first, finish that, because the non-venomous, you can take your time. You can be a little sleepy, a little groggy when you're cleaning house snakes. You can't be sleepy and groggy when you're dealing with rattlesnakes. So I think what you've got with all the other animals and the kids and the farm and the home, I think that's fantastic, man. It's a good set.
Thanks.
Yeah, man.
Are you planning to, as far as breeding goes, outside of house snakes? Like, what else do you have in the works?
I have a habit of moving country a lot and resetting my collection. So I have some things that are in the works. I have a pair of sarong green tree pythons that I'm raising up. They're 2.5 years old now, so I guess another year and a half, and maybe they'll be ready to go. I got some of the wheat belt Stimsons of the man who wrote the book himself, Justin Zoolander.
Excellent.
You really have to beg him to sell you snakes. Like,
the problem is he loves his animals.
Yeah,
and it's like,
and he was
what a weirdo.
I know.
He was generous with his time. He was generous with his snakes, and I'm really thankful. But I bugged him for a year. I was like, when are you having baby snakes? And then, okay, we have some baby snakes available. Okay, I'm reminded that I'm on the list. So I kept bugging him, and eventually he sold me some.
It's good, man. It's good.
And then the other projects I have one pair of ball pythons. My wife has some of the dreamsicles, I think. We're back in the day when we lived in South Africa and we had slow internet and we would download YouTube videos so we could watch them offline at a later point because our internet was slow and crap. We used to watch Ralph Davis, I believe his name was. Mm-hmm. And I remember seeing him. He had the dreamsicle. That was one of his babies. I think it's the lavender albino piebald. And my wife has a pair of those, and at some point we may breed them, but it's more like a dream come true species for her and breed in combination. I have a pair of Angolans. They're on the slow train. I got them from the Angolan Python project in Germany. So theoretically, their genes are good. When it gets close to breeding time, I'll maybe send him some genetic samples and he can double check that they're good to go, or if I need to outsource another male or something. And a pair of, I have like a random collection. The house snakes are the main thing, and then I just have some other random stuff. Like I have some 100 milk snakes, and cool. I think that's it. But yeah, they're all in the growing up process because things take a while when you keep moving.
How do you like the Angolans in comparison to the balls? Like, I feel like you can kind of compare them, but at the same time you kind of can't. Like,
right.
Yeah, they're completely different. They superficially look similar shape, but their scales are different. The Angolans are very active. You open the tub and they're kind of like squeeze themselves out and up, and then they'll wedge themselves. I have the tubs, the BlackBox tubs. I have like a container that is their moist type. I don't really need moist type, but I'm just in habit of doing that. They'll wedge themselves on top of that, between that and the top of the other one. So pulling them out is really hard, and you have to like go really slowly because they've wedged themselves in there. Probably because in the wild they wedge themselves in rock crevices, and as soon as you open that, their face is there, ready to eat. So they're very different from ball pythons, which usually just kind of hang out in the back, and they may look for food, but they're not going to like come to the front of the tub. So they're very different. They need heat. When I didn't have them on heat, they were not eating as well. So there are species that need heat. Some of the other ones don't. But yeah, that's been my experience with them. They feel awesome. They got the little beaded scales.
Yeah, Casey Cannon always has some for sale, man. And like he had some at Daytona last year, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna have some this year. And like every time I see him, I'm like, man, those are freaking cool. And
I know he got fresh ones this year.
One day, if money is no object, I may wind up with some. We'll see. But
I've noticed in mine.
The more I see them, dude, the more I'm like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I had a book on them of like how to keep them and stuff, and one of the things they said was don't overfeed them. That's how you're gonna kill them. Mm-hmm. So I feed them once a week, once every 2 weeks. I kind of alternate that kind of thing, and they grow so slowly.
What book was
that? I'll have to go and look.
You got to find me that book, bro. I need that book in my life.
Yeah, I'll run and go get it when we have.
Yeah, well, later.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the one thing that they said. I usually pick my snake keeping books based on the author being from Germany.
A wise decision.
Those German keepers, they just everything's a science for them. They overthink everything, and I like it. And obviously, the American side of things is more easy to get because it's in English. But I have been known to buy books in German, read them page by page, Google translated, just to get some different opinions on how things do.
Oh, it's worth it. It's worth it.
Wasn't Burke using an app that did that, but it would maybe it was English, but it would turn them into PDFs?
Yeah, he has an app that you scan the book, like the barcode of the book, and it puts it into the app as almost like a Kindle.
How?
It just does. It knows it. I have no idea. No idea. And then I also heard that if you have, I don't own Meta glasses, but if you had like the Google glasses or the Meta glasses or whatever, there's a way that you can program them to just translate in your glasses. So you're reading a book in German, but when you see it through the lens of the glasses, it's in English, which I thought that was pretty cool.
Wild.
I know, right?
We were in Target like the weekend before last, and they had a little stand with the Ray-Ban, Meta Ray-Bans. You could like try them on and stuff, but I'm like, I don't know how many faces these things have been on. And I'm like, how many times they wipe these things down? So I was like, nah.
Yeah, it's like Anna Marie and I went to the aquarium or the museum, and they had like the thing where you put up to your face and you put your eyes in like binoculars, and it shows you what it's like to if you were a shark, like if you were a hammerhead, what it would look like. And I was like, you want to see what it looks like to be a shark? And she's like, no. How many kids' faces? Staffed. That's how you get pink eye on your everywhere. Ugh.
Yeah, I did a quick run to see if I could find the Angolan one. I couldn't.
Dude, you don't gotta do that.
But I did find
don't worry about it.
My Gila one. This is by the German author.
Yes, that is one of the best books. Chimera Edition.
The best green tree python book, hands down, is one actually in German.
I've seen that one on Amazon, but I'm again.
Der grüne Baumpython, something like that.
Baumpython.
Yeah,
I love it.
The level of nerdiness that I have is not to be underestimated. I contacted the author and asked if he would do an English translation, and he said it's up to his publisher. I then contacted his publisher and found out if they could do it, and then via the grapevine, I was talking to Justin Zulander, and he is fluent in German, so he said he would also help to translate, but I think it's still up to the publisher. But yeah, nothing will stand between me and trying to get a book. It's a sickness.
It's good, man. It's good.
Yeah, but this book is great. It has, I think, Daniel Natusch. It has his Natusch. It has his new designations for different
it's that
species
recent.
and everything. Yeah.
Well, I thought that was an older one for some reason.
He had an older version of this, but this is the newest edition.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly when it came out, but it's new. You can buy it on Amazon DE, and that's what I did. I just bought it there and sent it over.
Nice.
And I've really enjoyed it. It's nice to get the different opinions on green tree python specifically. You get the original. The name escapes me now, but the original green tree python book that everyone has.
Maxwell.
Yeah.
Maxwell, that's right. Thank you. And then there's the Terry Phillips and Zulander one.
Mm-hmm.
That one was really good, and it's from a completely different perspective. And then this one is a third perspective. It agrees with Zulander on some things, with Maxwell on other things, and I like to try and see how different people are doing that, and then pull the truth out of all of those and try and find a way that I want to do it.
Excellent, man. Extrapolate. I love it. The another great Gila book, if you're still looking, Daniel Beck. It says, I'm pretty sure it's soft cover only, but I have that Gila book, and that is a fantastic book on all the Gilas, all the beadeds, all that jazz. So
thanks. I'll look it up.
Yeah, I'm sure it's on Amazon. It's still in print.
Yeah, I found it.
Yeah, that another.
Holy cow, Phil! You're trying to bankrupt me. It's $160 for the paperback.
Is it really?
$140 for the hardcover.
Wow. I guess it's not in print anymore. Okay.
I guess not.
Wow. All right. Well, if you get a chance to find one secondhand on Facebook, I highly recommend it.
Fair enough. Good call.
But yeah, that book's fantastic for healers. So, oh man,
God, dude, there's so many like AI book bullshit on Amazon now.
oh yeah, yep.
Who's the author of that German book?
That is Marcus Weier, Weier, and Marcus with a K. Yeah, I swear by this book. It's a really good one. I think if I can remember, he feeds as heavily as Maxwell. He keeps them a little bit cooler, but he emphasizes vertical space, whereas Maxwell emphasizes horizontal space.
Yeah.
But it's very German. When he writes it, he's like, these people, they do it wrong. Like, he'll just call them out. Maxwell is wrong about this. And I've been keeping snakes for so long. I have a female that is 30 years old. So trust me when I tell you, I know how to look after these snakes. The Americans do it wrong. Their snakes die off in 10 years. He's very opinionated, and I'm here for it.
Wow. Wow. Oh man. Was ist los?
But you've been to Ham and stuff, right?
Yeah. I happened to be in Amsterdam on a business trip, and it was the week before Ham. I was like, oh man, I have to make 2 weeks out of this. So I went down to visit my friend in Germany, and then we went to Ham together. And to be honest, it was much smaller than the reptile shows that I'm used to. It was really strange. The venomous room had like 5 different tables in it that people had stuff, including the guy had the Atheris book that I got you a copy of. So yeah, it was very small compared, but it was very different. There wasn't just tables of ball pythons. It was a very different feel. Like, these are hobbyist guys who, they don't care if anyone actually buys their stuff. They're there to just have fun with the animals. It's a very different vibe.
Wow. Very cool. Have you been to Houghton?
No, just that one.
Yeah.
Even when I lived around Europe, I lived in the UK for a while, and I didn't even make it to the Doncaster show, let alone across the channel into Europe. Something about when you live in England, everything's far away, and now I will happily drive down to Austin, which I think is like 4 or 5 hours from here.
Yeah,
for a snake show in the day. So yeah, things have changed.
Yeah, man, that's wild.
I think Doncaster was 2.5 hours away, and that was too far for me.
I mean, I'm sure it's different when you gotta like ferry over, and then you gotta get a train, and then you gotta, there's like 3 different hoops you have to jump through to get to.
No, Nipper told me it's like a 2-hour drive through the channel, under the channel, in the channel, excuse me, and to go to Houghton.
Fair.
So
I know that there used to be a service called Bus to the Show. I think it was called that, where you meet up at some point in the UK, and they would take you across the border to the Ham show. They would pick up everything on the way back. They had all the paperwork ready to import the snakes back to the UK.
Really?
Since the UK has Brexited, I don't know if that's still even possible. But back in the day, apparently it was really easy just to jump on the bus and head there and grab what you want to come back.
Wow. Yeah, I know Nipper told me that, I guess, a year or 2 ago, they the UK government cracked down hardcore in terms of quote unquote smuggling. And a majority of the people didn't realize that the corn snake they bought for their 10-year-old kid was smuggling. You know what I mean? They didn't have that permit. But I guess they were shocked that like the majority of people bringing animals back all had the paperwork. Like, everyone had their ducks in a row, except for like the occasional family that was being harmless. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So when I was there, I remember that the hobby kind of took the bureaucrats by surprise. It's got very big without them noticing that it was a thing. And when it came time to look at legislation, it was already at a size where they had to figure something out rather than just try and shut things down. I have no idea what it's been more than half a decade since I've been in England, so I don't know what things are now. Nipper would be better to talk about that, but I remember that it was growing quickly, and there's some cool stuff available because they had Ham right there. You could get weird stuff like Aurora house snakes. There were a couple of people in the UK that had them. There were a bunch of people in Germany. here to find anyone that actually has any available or has any at all. Like, I guess people are more tight-lipped here, but it's hard to find it.
Yeah.
Did you go to any shows in Canada?
Two. I was in the Atlantic provinces, and we drove 4 hours to Halifax, Nova Scotia, in a different province to go to a snake show, and there were 15 tables there.
Wow.
And I was like, we drove all the way here for this, so we tried to make a day of it and went to a museum and stuff, but it was very small. And then in New Brunswick, which was my province that I lived in, they had a show there, I think, for the first time, and we went, and I went with a friend, and he vended there, and it was a little bit bigger than the Halifax one, the one that I visited, but it was still very small. It's a pretty small market.
Wow.
I'm sure the Toronto ones and the ones out west
Yeah.
were huge, but in the lower Atlantic provinces, very small.
Wow. Did you ever make it out to PEI?
No.
Ah.
The 1 year where we actually were getting ready to sell and move to Texas, we had time to actually go on vacation because we didn't have animals to look after. And we looked at PEI, everything was booked up, and we were checking 4 months in advance. PEI is such a holiday destination, you have to book a year in advance.
Wow.
You hope to get anywhere.
Yeah, I had no idea. I haven't been there since I was a kid, and I had family friends that lived there, so we'd gone up there, and again, it was not the tourist experience because we had family friends, but that's crazy that it's as touristy as it is now. So it's good, I guess.
Yep. Everyone wants to play Anne of Green Gables. I think that's the
right.
thing out there, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You going to Daytona?
It would be days of driving to get there.
We got airplanes now, man. It's 2025.
Yeah, man, big metal bird in the sky.
Species was never meant to be in one, but they exist.
I don't have plans to, and if I did go down to Daytona, I think I would try to make it a week or two thing to do hoping down there, and I don't think I'm set up for that this year. So maybe next year. I did reach out to the Corn Stars host. Is it Chris Painshap?
Yeah.
I did reach out to him and say, hey, you kind of drive past me-ish on your way. Should we club in and like split fuel and stuff? But I didn't get back to him after that because it's not in the cards.
Yeah.
We kind of did our big hoping trip this year. We went down to West Texas for a week. So I may have burnt that grace and PTO for this year.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, Corpus has to be a decent drive from you, right?
Yeah, I haven't gone there yet. It's more than what is comfortable to get there and back in a day. So we haven't made that trip yet.
Yeah. Well, I know like Jeff and Kendra, anybody who seems to be coming from West Coast, they try to make, like you were saying, try to make it more of a week-long trip when they go to Daytona. They'll get there 2 or 3 days before everybody else does and just, hang out and vacation. Which I mean, it makes sense if you're putting the money into the flight and stuff, you might as well make it worthwhile and make it a proper vacation of sorts. So it's not so bad. Like for Jake and I, it's a 4-hour drive. It's nothing, it's a hop, skip, and a jump. So
yeah, and if you do a flight though, then you can't take anything back, or I guess you have to ship it. Shipping shouldn't be too bad, but
yeah,
I like the idea of driving because then when you drive, then you can do more stuff.
Yeah, Chris did that. What was he? Did Chris drive the year before last? And he said it was brutal.
Yeah, it's a hike.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I'd rather fly. I don't even like flying. I'd rather fly if it's between that and a 14-hour drive. Like, give me the TSA. God.
Yeah, I think it'll take me like 3 hours just to get out of Texas. Yeah,
dude,
Texas is huge.
It's its own freaking country.
Yeah, if you drive from Jacksonville to San Diego, more than a third of the time you'll be in Texas.
Wow.
It's pretty big.
That makes sense. That checks out.
Whew.
Crazy. Picking up Joe Rosa from the airport this year.
Good.
Then we drive down. So
nice.
That'll be fun.
He's flying into Savannah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I took that day off. I think Danielle's going to work a half day, and so I thought about working a half day, but I was like, you know what? I'll just go down there. I'll pick up Rosa because he's supposed to get in late morning. You know, by the time we get back into town, we'll be ready to load up and head back down where we just came from. So,
Yeah.
you know, but
All right.
it's I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be good.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
When are you guys coming to our shows? I can just flip the script. We have the big Arlington show. I guess now it's Dallas.
I want to. So I haven't been to Tinley. I haven't been to Arlington. Like I do want to get out there. Just a matter of making it happen, you know.
Yeah, I mean it's easy for Daytona because everyone's there, like no ands, ifs, or buts. But it's also 4 hours for me. It's 4 hours for Smitty. You know, it's 4 hours for Billy and Casey and all of our Southeast friends and Skylar and everybody. You know, so I don't know. I definitely want to do Arlington. I want to do Pomona. I want to do Tinley. So
before the Arlington one, there's usually a big Green Tree Python guys get together, and I think some of the other groups have a big get together as well. And then you get to see the royalty of the Green Tree Python world. It's pretty sweet. I've somehow managed to get an invite to that the 1 year, and I went along, and it was great.
Very cool.
Oh yeah, was it Stiegel's house, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's some awesome stuff.
I got to hold a rough scale python in my actual hands, and it was great. Those things are amazing, man. They're definitely on my list, but they're just not cheap, so you have to save up. It's a lot of house snake babies to sell before I can get one of them.
One day.
Those
are on my list too, man. It's a lot of rhino rat snakes too. So, Kasicki said, if Joe Rosa can do Daytona, we have no excuses.
That is true.
If you guys do make it out, then we can go herping. I can definitely put you on some cottonmouths. I can't guarantee anything else.
It's got the swap for them swamp lines.
Yeah, we had a buddy come out to visit me the other day, and I'll say, okay, we'll quickly go out look for some cottonmouths. We were in a spot, and within the half an hour that we were there, we were just chucking cottonmouths in a bucket. We had 10 in the bucket, and we took pictures and then let them all go again. Just within a few feet of the bucket, we were just catching them. They're everywhere.
Oh, wow. Crazy. That's great. That is great.
That's why, Phil, you need to come up here and you need to road cruise with Jake and I, because the road we've taken over is like our road cruising road is freaking copperheads everywhere, dude.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a night. Too. There hasn't been a night that we haven't gone out there and seen at least one.
Nice.
At least two. It's crazy. They're all over the place.
That's awesome.
It's insane.
Good stuff, man. Good
if
stuff.
I ever want to keep them again, I know where I'm going.
That's it. Oh, well, gentlemen, are we at the witching hour?
We are at the witching hour. If people have questions about house snakes and availability, how should they go about inquiring?
Availability is usually on Morph Market. If you want to contact me pre-availability, then I guess Instagram's the easiest way. Instagram is my handle Snake, which spelled snake, and then Jade, which is spelled stupidly, Jayd. So you just put those words together, and that's my handle there. But my name's spelled so weirdly that if you look me up, you can kind of find me everywhere.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah, I don't think you're having the same issue that I have, where you have the most generic white name around. A lot of Justin Smiths out there.
Beaten only by John Smith, right?
Yeah.
There's only one Smitty.
There is. You're welcome.
Jesus. I'm kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
People know me.
You know what else is a big deal? FulvisApparel.com. Get shirts, get hats. Daytona delivery is now available for free. It's like, I don't know why I add the free part. Like, obviously it's free. It's like the A-frames in front of like Belk and stuff that are like free in-store pickup. It's like, no shit.
It's like, good advertising. It's good advertising.
Of course. So, yeah. place an order. I'll bring it to you. I will have a cutoff for that. I don't know exactly. I need to look at the calendar and figure out when exactly that's going to be, because there will be a time where I will not be able to get the shirts in and printed in time before we leave. So as soon as I look at a map, or not look at a map, look at a calendar and figure that out, I'll post about it. But plenty of time still between now and then. And I'm going to be bringing some more koozies again. Doing something. Doc Brown had a good idea of each year doing like a different koozie and making it like a collectible kind of thing. So
That's pretty awesome.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Doc Brown's the man. I hope we see him this year.
I think he's going to be there.
Good.
I don't know if I talked to him about it yet or not, but either way, koozies, hats, shirts, all that stuff. Go order it. Use the code THN at checkout. Get 15% off your order. That is the exclusive promo code for THN listeners and viewers like you. And then hop on over to blackboxcages.com. You need a rack. You need a cage. That's right. Phil's right there. Open it up. Put the snake in. Enjoy it for a lifetime. Quality that cannot be beat, both in material and in build. New stuff coming as well that I'm hoping they are going to be announcing soon. Pretty exciting stuff. It's some stuff that people have been asking for, so it'll be good. Happy belated birthday to our very own Philip. Doesn't look a day over 55.
Thank you, my Australian friends.
How old
Actually,
are
yeah.
you?
I don't want to say. I was in a restaurant the other night with friends, and the woman who was taking our money at the front was like, "Oh, it's your birthday? How old are you?" And I was like, "I look damn good for 64, don't I?" She's like, "Come on, how old are you?" I was like, "You're right. I look damn good for 52." She goes, "Damn, you do look good for 52." I was like, Thanks a lot. Yeah. No, I'm 39 years old.
1 foot in the grave, buddy.
Yep.
It's all downhill from here.
Yeah. One more year before I sell everything and don't buy a sports car.
Got to get a Corvette and then not go the speed limit.
Yeah, not in Florida. It is now a mandatory arrestable offense if you're traveling over 100 miles an hour.
It wasn't before?
No, it was an NTA. It was like you've been arrested, but you don't have to go to jail, you know?
Oh.
Like notice to appear NTA, you know? And
no, everyone here that has a Corvette, they don't go the speed limit. They go like 10 miles under the speed limit. They drive like they're 90.
Nice.
It's the opposite. It's like you got all them horses and you ain't even gonna use them.
Yeah. They did. So anything in Florida, anything over, I think, 25 miles over the speed limit, regardless of the speed limit, is criminal, I think. And then anything over 80 is criminal and arrestable offense. But like, let's say you're going 85. They're not going to take you to jail for that. They're going to give you a notice to appear in court and like, quote unquote, air quotes, you were arrested, you know. Now it's, I think, all the same, but if you're over 100 miles an hour, you go to jail, like handcuffs, take your car, the works. So
Jade said everyone is going over 100 in Texas on the interstates. That's because, I mean, they don't even bother putting the speed limit signs out there, dude. They're like, why waste the tax dollars?
Yeah.
I do see cops pulling people over, but that doesn't seem to stop the Texans. They'll still be going like, you'll be in one of the places where it gets like 80 miles an hour, the speed limit, and there'll be people rushing past you like you're standing still. That's crazy out here.
Well, what gets me is every time I've heard to West Texas, you know, we're hiking the cuts and we're walking along the side of the highway. The amount of beer cans and beer bottles thrown out the window on the side of the highway where we're herping is crazy. It's just everyone's drinking and driving in West Texas.
This is a lawless wasteland, dude.
It is a lawless wasteland.
It's the closest thing to Fallout we have right now.
Yeah, man.
I will give you an alternative explanation that a lot of people drive pickups and they may have had beers in the back of their pickup. And if you drive faster than the tumble in
no. Let's be real.
Think so.
Come on.
I'm with Phil on that one.
Yeah.
I tried.
You did. You've a valiant effort.
Yeah. Some dudes down in a few roadies en route.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Cold-blooded caffeine. You need coffee. Check out the Snakes and Stogies blend, as well as the amazing selection of other house blends and affiliate blends. Use the code SMOKE at checkout. get 10% off your order, and enjoy that coffee. I don't know. I think they're doing Flippington Thursday.
Sweet.
Because the boys went down to, I think, Skylar's.
They went to Florida.
They went to Florida.
They went to fucking Florida.
And
they didn't even call me.
Hey, I didn't get an invite either, buddy. Don't feel bad.
I know.
You know, maybe it's because we got to be herp bros we got to go herping. We're not cool enough.
Yep.
We're not out flipping tin like we should be.
Well, I have something that I want to say that I've been waiting till the very last minute to tell people, because only the people that stuck around to the end are going to get to hear this. I went out to Big Cypress National Preserve Saturday night.
Big Cypress.
I hadn't been there in a long time. And I was like, you know what? It was the storms rolled through. I was like, this is going to be the night I find a Brooks King. This is going to be the night. And we got down there at primo time, and I stopped counting overloaded redneck trucks with LEDs at number 30, because I didn't know that was the first night of the Florida state sponsored Python Challenge. There were no fucking birds, dude. No animals, no nothing. There was no bugs on the road. There were no frogs in the road. There was no birds. There were more humans hunting pythons on those roads than all the humans I've seen out there in the 26 years I've lived down here. Okay. Crazy. I've never seen that many trucks in my life. I saved a scarlet snake and a baby water snake off the road. We did find that, which was cool. And a married couple that were participating in the challenge had just found a hatchling berm, and they were kind enough to show it to me. He had it in his hand before he was going to bag it up. So I have officially seen, well, I didn't see them catch it. I just saw it already in his hand, but I have officially seen a Florida Burmese python. So
did they put out like a report after that's over saying how many were collected and all that?
Oh
stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. And like for the first like 3 years they did it, the numbers were less and less and less. And then last year it was like triple, because more people are doing it.
Yeah.
And yeah. So, but dude, this thing was probably the prettiest Burmese python I've ever seen in my life. It had to have been a day or two old.
Yeah.
Crazy, flawless skin, rainbow iridescence, like gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
Bummer, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I understand why they do it, but it's not the animal's fault they're there, you know? It's unfortunate.
Well, and to be honest, I took pride in being able to say that I never saw one. I still have yet to find one.
Yeah.
So I'm still prideful of that. But yeah, they're definitely out there. But yeah, I was morbidly disgusted that I stopped counting at 30.
Yeah.
And then we're talking about like dually trucks with like 4 or 5 guys standing up in the bed with giant LED spotlights, just spotlighting everything. And they can do it because they have a Python permit. So fucked. Yeah.
Well,
and yes, they do get paid per snake. And then the winner, whoever has, I think, the most snakes gets a prize, and the biggest, heaviest snake gets a prize.
One of the prizes, like 25 grand,
something like that. Yeah. Like I think the most snakes, I think, is like 25 grand. But who knows?
Tax dollars going to good use.
Pretty much. There's my annual captive wildlife permitting fees. There you go. So
I wish they could export them to the rest of the US. Like at the snake shows here, we'll often get tokay geckos and other stuff from Florida that's caught.
Yeah.
And then there, you're removing it, but you're also getting compensated for it without the government getting involved. So that'd be good. If you like Florida locality Burmese, would be sick to own, but I guess it's too much paperwork.
Well, and I mean, here's the thing is, if you smuggle it out, you really can't get in trouble because you smuggled it out. But if you kept it and bred it in captivity in Florida, straight to jail. Done.
I imagine getting caught smuggling it out would not be a fun experience.
Yeah, probably not. But at least it's leaving and not coming in.
I'm doing what you want me to do.
Yeah.
And removing it.
Well, what I think is interesting is it's illegal to transport. You have to kill on site. And there's only certain methods of take, only certain methods of kill.
Mm-hmm.
So like that couple last night, or the other night, they had took this baby and they threw it in like a pillowcase. So it's like, well, what? Aren't you going to just chop its head off right now? Like, why are you putting it in a pillowcase? You'd say? Anyway, I digress.
Fucking Florida.
Fucking Florida. So,
We'll see everybody later.
yes. And thank you again, Jade. It was a blast.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thank you.